Right, so in today's video I'm just going to go over some basic settings for you so you can get some better detail out of your Action 6 there. Now if you're just getting into this, I'd highly recommend just going automatic mode there, 4K 30, because in today's world they've come a long way, action cameras, since many years ago when I first started out. And basically the colour science from these DJI Action cameras and the Insta360 cameras are really usable straight out the box in automatic mode there. So now we're going to switch the Action 6 on and I'm going to toggle through the interface there, showing you the settings that I use and that I'd recommend changing whilst in automatic mode, and then we'll have a look at the manual mode later on. So first of all, we're just going to switch on the Action 6. As you can see, it comes on really rapidly there. So when I'm in automatic mode, the settings I always use is 4K 30. I have RockSteady enabled, and I always film in standard D-Walk, so that gives me that nice focal length equivalent there, 15mm. Which I find is great and useful for vlogging there. And then just at the top middle there, this is the new one which utilises the sensor there. You can now have landscape, portrait, default or custom. But basically I always leave it in landscape mode. But what you can do in this one now, you can film in portrait mode and you don't have to now rotate the camera the other way. As I said, that's utilising that 1/1.1 inch sensor. But I always leave it in landscape mode. So they're the very basic settings I use in automatic mode, 4K 30, standard D-Walk, RockSteady enabled, and it's always in landscape mode. And now you can see we've got a new mode on the Action 6, we've got quality priority. Now when this is activated, it's almost like you've activated HDR there, it's going to give you more of a quality image. Do keep in mind it's going to be really taxing on the battery there, as it hires the camera's performance, so you may get overheating problems if you're filming in 4K a long time with that quality priority on. To be honest, I've not really used it yet, because I think the overall standard in automatic mode straight out the box, the camera system does a great job there. And then just to the right we've now got some film tones. Again, I don't think I'd really use these film tones, but let's just cycle through them to see what we've got here. Then the first one's the CC, and we can also have it from 30%, 50%, 70% or 100% on each one of these modes now. And the second one in line there is the classic negative film type, which is NC. Then we've got the TR, this is for pleasing skin tones and giving more of a natural look. Then we've got the WT, this is for vibrant colours and warm tones, suitable for architecture and landscapes. Then we've got the FE, this is cinematic look with enhanced image depth, ideal for street photography. And then finally we've got the NV1, this is amber tinted highlights for printed photo look, suitable for historic architecture. Again, we can go from 30%, 50%, 70% and 100 on each one of these. And again, we're still in automatic mode right now. You can see the next one there is variable aperture. Now, I've done a lot of testing this since the release of the Action 6. It's been out approximately 3 weeks from me doing this video. And I've always left it in auto when I've been filming on its own, but when I've been doing side-by-side comparisons, I've always fixed it in the traditional 2.8 f-stop there, because that's what all older action cameras have. And I find when I leave it in automatic mode, that aperture's jumping to f-stop 2 to 4, and you can really see a difference when comparing it next to action cameras. So if you really want to see the aperture working, I've done a side-by-side comparison, which I'll leave on the end screen there for you. I've done the Action 5 Pro versus the Action 6, and the Action 5 Pro's fixed at f2.8, because you can't adjust the aperture, you can only adjust that on this newly released Action 6. But on the Action 6, I left the aperture in auto and I let it fluctuate there really to show you the differences, and you really can, especially in those bright lit areas and those darker areas. And then I've compared the Ace Pro 2 to the Action 6, but in that one I fixed the aperture at 2.8 just to see the differences there. And once again, you really can. You can go and check that out on my channel in the playlists. So now I've just said all that and got carried away, let's get back to these variable apertures. So like I said, you can leave that in auto and the Action 6 does do a good job there. When you're doing side-by-sides, I'd highly recommend fixing it back in 2.8. So with this all new variable aperture, and it's a first on action cameras, you can leave it in automatic mode and you can leave it to range from f2 to f4, or you can toggle up to 2.2 to f4, 2.4 to f4, 2.6 to f4, 2.8 to f4, and that's in your automatic modes. Or like I said, you can fix it in there at the traditional f2.8, which all other action cameras are fixed in, or you can set it there to f-stop 4. But do keep in mind when you fix the aperture to the f-stop 4, the minimum focusing distance will be now at 20 centimeters. And when it's fixed at 2.8, the minimum focus distance is going to be 35 centimeters. So really do keep that in mind if you're doing any close-up photography or filming there. So that variable aperture is going to be up to you to play around with there. But like I say, I wouldn't activate it if you're doing any comparisons. As I said, you're really going to see some differences there. So that's up to you what you do there. But going forward, like I say, if I'm doing any testing along with this, I will leave it in because I like to then tell the viewers what the f-stop's doing. And you can see that on the front of the camera as it's changing there. And then just next to that, we've got the stabilisation scenario. Now don't mix this up with the RockSteady Plus, Horizon Balancing and Horizon Steady. This is just basically giving you some scenarios. So if you leave it in daily, which I always do, that's going to be great for just walking around and vlogging. And if you're doing any action sports, I'd highly recommend you switch that to sport there. But I always leave it in daily, as I do lots of vlogging with this. And then the last one on this menu is image adjustment at the bottom there. Now this is to reduce noise reduction or sharpness, but DJI's called it texture on this camera. So once again, everybody's going to have different preferences here on the texture, which is the sharpness and the noise reduction. I usually leave them all at 0, but I do find with some of the action cameras in today's world, they do look a bit over sharpened, especially the Nano. So on the Nano, I always have that texture down to -1. But I find it's not too bad on the Action 6, so I do fluctuate sometimes depending on the lighting conditions if I want that texture, which is sharpness, to -1 or left at 0 there. And I find the noise reduction isn't too noisy on this camera, so I'll leave that in 0. So now from those settings, we'll just swipe that out of the way there, swipe down from the top, and now I want to hit the cog menu, and we want to go down to bitrate. Now my bitrate's always set to high, but straight out the box it's always ticked to standard, so I'd highly recommend you set that to high. But do keep in mind the high bitrate's only available in video, super night mode and slow motion modes. So in short, when you set that bitrate to high, it's going to give you a better overall image than if it was set to standard. So that were the very basic settings that I use in automatic mode on the Action 6. Now let's take a look at the Pro mode. So just hit that icon there, and once you tap Pro, we've got some different menus pop up there. And what's nice when you enter the Pro mode there, we've got that 10-bit color profile, or the D-Log in 10-bit also. So as soon as you activate that, straight away that's in 10-bit normal. You don't have to toggle through the menus there like you did on the other cameras. And then just one more thing on the D-Log there, which I didn't cover on automatic mode. As you know, when you select Pro mode, it's that normal 10-bit, but you've got that D-Log M 10-bit color. So what's great about this is, like I said, the normal 10-bit's activated straight away from Pro mode. But now the D-Log M in 10-bit, as you can see, that's a flat color profile, which you've got to color correct yourself. But what DJI has done now is you've got the toggle on or off, so when you put it on, it's as though it's been color corrected, so you've got some idea what that's going to look like. So that's a great feature now. So now let's take a look at the exposure whilst we're in manual mode. Now I usually leave my ISO in automatic as it does a great job in manual there, but I find sometimes they overexpose, so I always set down to -3 on the EV values. And then next to exposure there, we've got the auto white balance. Now this is for the color temperature. Now on the front of the Action 6, we've got a color temperature sensor there, and usually they do a really good job, but sometimes you do have to adjust this. Now usually I do leave it in automatic mode, but let's just say it's a snowy environment. We want to be pitching that right down here so we'll get more of a cooler look. And let's just say it's in a sunset scenario, we can go for more of a warmer tone, which is higher up there. So if you leave it in automatic mode, it does do a good job, but just be wary that if you're, like I said, in a really bright snowy area, you're going to want to put that down. And then if you're in a, let's say, a sunset or a desert area, you want to be whacking that a bit more up there. Again, when you're in manual mode on this one, you're just going to have to play around with it, like I said. Lower the number, cooler the tone, higher the number, warmer the tone. So once again, you're going to have to play around with that. But as soon as you whack it into automatic mode, what you're seeing right now is what I'm seeing in front of me. So again, that colour temperature on the front is doing a good job there. And once again, everybody's going to have different preferences, but I'm just showing you what I use. And we'll just have a look at the 10-bit there. As soon as you activate it, you can have D-Log or normal 10-bit. Like I said, that's great because in other action cameras you have to drill in the settings to activate that. And just next to that we've got the quality priority. And yet again, like I said earlier, in automatic mode, it's same as manual. As soon as you activate that, it's going to really put stress on the battery's performance, it's going to probably start overheating. So be careful there. If you're filming in, let's just say 4K 60 on a really hot day, I'd deactivate that, to be fair. And then just underneath that, we've got that variable aperture, which I've just covered in automatic mode. Again, that's up to you what you do, but if you're in manual mode, I'd probably fix it, to be fair, at the traditional 2.8, because you don't want that fluctuating, especially if you've got an ND filter on there. You could mess up your footage. And then just at the bottom, we've got the same two menus. Yet again, you're in manual mode. You want to adjust that texture, which is sharpness or noise reduction, to suit you. And then we've got that stabilisation again, what I covered in automatic mode. Dailies for vlogging, sports for any running around or activity sports there. And then finally, just at the top left there, we can see that there's a microphone icon. And if you just hit that, now we can have the noise reduction. So you can set that to off, standard or high. So when it's set to standard there, that's for everyday scenes, and I always leave it in standard, but beware with the Action 6, it's hypersensitive to any wind noise, so if you've not got your external microphone with you, I'd highly recommend you switch it to high there. But I highly recommend with the Action 6, I would use an external mic, as I've been doing, because when I first got this on the second day, I was vlogging around and it was pretty windy. I got back, I left it in standard, and the footage was useless basically. I could hardly hear myself because I find it very hypersensitive. So if you don't have an external microphone with you and it's a little bit windy, even breezy, I'd set that to high, and then that's going to make that wind noise a lot less than if it was in standard. And then just next to the noise reduction there, we can have that channel in stereo or mono. Again, always leave that in stereo. That'll just sound a lot better. And then if you want to apply an ND filter to the Action 6, again go in manual mode there, go to the exposure settings, but this time you want to set the ISO in manual, get it as low as we can possibly go there on this camera, which is 100. And then your shutter speed wants to be double that of your frame rate, so I film at 4K 30, so I'll set that to 1/60. And then you always want to keep an eye on the EV values. Now, I can't really demonstrate inside, but stay tuned because there's lots of videos I've done on ND filters there. And I've actually got some from Telsin and Freewell for the Action 6, so stay tuned to the channel because I'm really going to be a deep dive into how to use those ND filters and also showing you how to select the right ND filter on the day with the lighting conditions. So like I said, they're the very basic settings when you're applying an ND filter there. Always, I can't stress enough, keep an eye on the EV value. Now if I was to just put an ND filter on there, I'm not going to do it because it's indoors, so it'll give false setting, but we want to get that as close to 0 as possible. Now let's just say outside on a bright lit sunny day, you'll get away with -3. And then if it's a darker day, you'll be able to fluctuate there from -3, 0, and no more than +3. But ideally the sweet spot is -3 and 0. So then what you want to do is apply these basic settings, again keeping an eye on the EV value, and then fluctuate between each ND filter to get that EV value, like I said, between no less than -3, no more than +3. Right, so that was just a video today, just going over the newly released Action 6, the settings I use and I highly recommend. Like I say, if you're just getting into it, leave it in automatic mode, 4K 30 there, and you'll find that it does a really good job because the Action 6's colour science is really good, to be fair. So as always, do stay tuned to the channel as there's going to be plenty more videos on the horizon, especially with testing out this newly released Action 6. But for now, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and bye for now.